First off, thank God, praise the Lord, that we can talk about it. Let's talk about it. Come on, let's see what you say. It's the people's debate. Sports mailman Joe with the news. White T Cody opposing views. Sheriff West got picks for you. Milton is the glue. But your thoughts make this click. Opinion, raise questions. What you got to say, quick give. It's the people's debate. It's the people's debate.
Are we on the air?
People. Glory to Jesus Christ. This is the People's Debate. It is Wednesday, June 25th. The time reads 7:42 Pacific time. Tonight we talk football, and we are live. I am your host, and I am joined by this distinguished, seasoned, and polished panel of mine. These three brothers, all to my left, bottom, and bottom left or right, however this goes, I forgot. Fellas, thank y'all for joining me. You didn't have to. I appreciate you joining me. It's a very important topic we're going to be discussing today because I don't think a lot of people are talking about it. So again, appreciate y'all's time tonight. And of course, people that are out there now watching, much appreciation and love to you all. Everybody that's not watching but watches this back, be sure to pretty please like and subscribe to the channel. We got a couple extra subscribers from last week. That helped me sleep a little bit more, and it's much appreciated. But fellas, how are you guys doing?
Shoot, I'm doing good, man. You know, the NBA draft's currently going on right now. So seeing what our Spurs are doing, and then, you know, one day closer to the weekend, man. It's almost my weekend off this month. So I'm excited for that.
Right on. Jose. Oh, also, speaking of Jose, guys, we're honored for you to grace us with your presence. Again, this is the host of the Puro Pinche Sports channel. And again, very polished brethren. Appreciate you joining us, brother.
Well, I'm glad to be here, guys. I'm glad to be a guest once again on the People's Debate. I hope we're here for a good time all the time. You know, Milltown's said God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. So Amen. I'm looking forward to this episode. Really good stuff. Glad to be here.
Amen. Jalen, it is very good to see you, dude. I am glad I see the smile. I'm glad I see that. I truly am, dude. I promise. I really am. It is good to see you back in action. How are you doing, dude? Unmute.
I'm good. It's been a few weeks. Life has been busy, but it's been good, though.
Right on. Very good, dude. All right, fellas. Well, y'all know how I get down. Real quick, I need some good news. Give me some good news. Don't say nothing, you know. We woke up this morning. I understand that. Let's do something else.
It's the best. That's how you.
I know, but I want to hear like something personal. Like, that's not everybody. Yes, we're blessed to be alive. I agree.
I'm trying to think, like, we're one step closer to the weekend. Like, I only have to work tomorrow.
Whack.
Off the weekend.
Give me something else, Joe. Everyone feels
like
that
as
way.
Jose knows, he could tell you, like, we only get so many weekends off. So whenever this rolls around, it's very exciting.
Okay, yeah, you sound excited.
He's not wrong.
Fair enough, Joe.
Right. You got to understand, Milton, walking these streets, 100-degree weather all day, every day. Yeah. You know, it's not easy. Dogs barking at you, people yelling, "Get off my lawn!" You know, just
bro, it's crazy. Like, I literally had I can count it like on all my hands and feet, like how many times people tell me get out of their lawn because they're grass and stuff like that, and I look down and it's dirt. Not grass, dirt.
That's rough. People still do that. That's crazy.
Yes. Still.
That's rough. All right. Jalen, give me something. Give me something. You walked in anybody's grass this week?
No.
Okay, good start.
I don't have.
Okay, now I got you. Let me T-ball it up. Yep, you're right. TikTok lives. You had any?
I did one Monday. Was it Wednesday? Yeah, Monday.
And what was the topic?
We did. What did we do? We did not tight ends. Edge rush. Top 10 edge
Oh,
rush.
it was like the San Francisco like fan club. That whole
Yeah.
Hey
I had
man, yeah, I joined a little late and I heard what's you'll probably know the name, but it was hilarious. The guy was hilarious. I can't remember his name, but he was a huge
Was it Ty?
yes.
Yeah.
The guy, what do you have? Something sexual or relationship with Nick Bosa? He said, yeah, and what?
Yeah, he's a yes.
Stumped him.
Colin Ty, man.
What do you got
That's
now?
hilarious.
That was that's clippable right there, man. Shout out to you said Ty.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ty. Make sure if he's ever available, I mean, he could always jump on, or make sure he knows that we go live every 7:35, 7:40. Because I would love to hear his comments because that was funny.
You want to give Nick Bosa that sexual chocolate?
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
I
glad
was
this
like,
is
man,
YouTube.
this dude
Glad
must
this
love
is YouTube.
I was like, this guy must love Nick Bosa, like the way he was riding for him so
Oh
hard.
man, yeah, he made some decent points, and then every now and again you'll be like, okay, dude, you're going it's a little too much, right? But yeah, fair enough. All right, well, fellas, again, good to see you. Thank y'all for giving me a couple hours of your time. Much appreciated. I'll try not to make it a couple hours. Let's try to make it an hour. We'll see how it goes. So tonight we are talking best offensive line units, top 7. And of course, now it's going to be a new award called the Protector of the Year. First time finally recognizing the offensive linemen individually. I wonder how the voting is going to be. I think it's only offensive linemen, correct?
Yeah.
Or former, excuse me, whatever. I just wonder how that's all going to go. I'm appreciative that they finally are doing this because I think offensive linemen go unnoticed when everything's going good. No one talks about the offensive line normally. Like us guys, we do because we understand. But normally nobody talks about it until the offensive line is the problem. That's when the offensive line gets talked about extremely much and excessive in normal media. So I'm glad that this is happening. Before we go on to our offensive lineman cores or units, Joe, you got any news for us?
I only have a little bit of news. It's a slow news week in the NFL right now. But that boy Aaron Rodgers loves some Pat McAfee. So he was on the Pat McAfee show and they were talking about it. And they actually said that, he said this is probably going to be his last year. So one last ride, I guess, with the Steelers. And let's see what happens with him. And, how do y'all feel about this? Him coming out and saying like pretty much his last year.
Should have been the year before.
I knew he was going to. I thought that was going to be Jose. Okay, go ahead, Jose. Pile on.
Should have been the year before that.
All right.
I mean, really, the second you decide that I should put on this Jets uniform, the second the Packers trade you away, you're going to say, I need to play for the Jets. Yeah, that's when it should be done. The Jets is purgatory. Like, it's done. Like,
yeah. Well, that's true. I'm not going to argue that. I mean, I don't have any feelings. I think I don't agree with you two fellas, but I do see this coming. It's going to be his last year, sure, of course. So no real feelings.
No, yeah, for sure. And then the last bit of news, man, this guy was brought up heavily in last episode. Travis Hunter signs his rookie contract, 4 years, $46 million, 30 million of it in a signing bonus. So shoot, he got a big old signing bonus to sign his name on some paper. Kudos to him.
Yeah, him and his agent, whatever. Good for him getting paid up front. Okay, well let us get into. We'll start off with the offensive line units, of course, and then we'll save the Protector of the Year award prediction towards the end. Now, let me ask you fellas individually. Joe, I'll ask you first. And, just one or two things. That's all I want. What makes an O-line, offensive line, good?
So
Simple, one or two things. Then great.
Yeah. So what I look
For
at
you.
first is how your tackles shape up. because in my opinion, your tackles have to be the anchors of your offensive line. Of course, the center is the guy who usually hikes it, but those guys at the left and right are going against the best two pass rushers on that other side of the ball majority of the time. So you got to look at like how are they holding up. If they are elite to great, you're going to have pretty much a decent offensive line, and it's going to help it out. It's going to help the guards out immensely, because that's why they're guards and not tackles. And that's how I look at it as a whole. Like, how do your tackles look first? And then I start breaking it down inside.
Okay. So tackles is one of the main importance for you. Jalen, same question. What makes an O-line good from your perspective? And, I know there's a lot of things, but, make it simple.
What makes an O-line good? Limiting quarterback pressures.
Okay.
That's like the biggest thing. One of the biggest things for me. Now, when it comes to it, I might mess this up. The left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Which one's closer, the left tackle or the left guard? Left guard.
The left
What do you
guard.
mean?
Tackle, guard, center, guard, center. I mean,
Yeah, the tackles are on their out, and then guards and center.
Yeah, okay, the guards are inside. So that left tackle, left guard.
Yeah.
If those two are key, most of the quarterback's blind side, right?
Right.
That's the core of a great offensive line right there is watching that quarterback's backside. So QB pressures, limited QB pressures, blind side.
Okay. Jose, same question.
I think for me, the one thing that, yes, you can get all the tackles and the best in the world. But I think one of the big keys that we always neglect a lot to talk about and why we don't appreciate them until they're gone is the centers. The centers is the backbone of the key guys that are talking to the rest of the unit. They're the ones that are they're basically the second in command of that offensive, right? Obviously the quarterback's the head honcho, right? But like the center does so much for the rest of the unit. So if your center's weak, then your whole team basically collapses. If you have a strong center, then your guards, your tackles, they fight for that position as well. So I'm gonna give some love for the centers on this one.
All right. Well, I love how y'all answered this because you already kind of covered like who you feel like is most important for the offensive line or makes a good offensive line. I'll put this out there. I think continuity kind of separates the great offensive lines comparable to like they might be great or this team might be up and coming and all of that kind of thing. Obviously, depth as well. We see a couple of these offensive lines, like one offensive lineman goes out and the offense is completely wrecked. So I think depth, quality additions, as far as like part of the criteria for my list is, of course, quality additions as well. And, of course, coaching, but also veteran and youth split. Having some veterans, and, of course, you're going to have some young guys, but you got to have a good mixture of it for it really to work. But, of course, all of that comes down to scheme and coaching. So all that to say, what do you think separates a good offensive line from a top 7 offensive line, other than like positional groups like tackles, guards, centers? What do you think separates the two, and like from your list?
I mean, the main thing that separates us, and I use this mainly from our experience, Milton, as Pats fans, is coaching. Yeah. You can get top ranked guys together, but if you can't coach them into to the drills, to do their jobs and all that stuff, they don't matter. Look at a guy like, let's say, Orlando Brown. He came from the Chiefs. He was a great left tackle on that side. The second he hit Cincy and the terrible coaching there, he's not even close to the same guy he once was. So I think coaching is a huge thing as far as what pushes you from good to great.
Okay. Real quick, same thing. Joe, Jalen, what separates the good offensive line units from the top 7 as far as your list? Again, in general, cool, but from your list, whoever.
I would say consistency factor. So I mean, I get the ideology of great individual linemen, but as a unit, what we're talking about, because I can point out, I'm not going to say a team right now, but I can point out a great, really good lineman, very consistent, but his counterparts aren't that consistent alongside with him. So I feel like it's like an old Nick Cannon, drumline, one band, one sound kind of mindset when it comes to that. So that's how I kind of separated the two.
Okay. All right, since Joe's out. Yeah. I think what separates it mainly for me is depth and continuity. Like where this team, let's say they had a top 7 last year, all the guys are coming back and they added depth. That just obviously puts them over the hump. Joe, well, again, what is the separation for good and top 7?
So like a lot of it, I look at too. How long have they been together as a unit? Like, is it familiarity as a whole? How many years have they been together? Like, because that makes okay O lines to great O lines when you're able to know, like, all right, like I might have gotten beat here, but I know the guy next to me or to the left of me is going to help me out and try to make sure that they do not get the quarterback the most important thing in this process, you know. And that's what I look at. I'm like looking at like how many sacks do they allow, and how many pressures do they allow? You know, if they're allowing a lot of sacks and pressures, you know, they're probably not that good of a unit.
Okay. So one, I agree. I mean, obviously, right? If you have your team led the league in sacks and was top 15 on the negative side and pressures allowed, of course, you're probably not a good offensive line. Also, a stat that some people miss, but all of us can look up, is like pass block win rate, run block win rate. Like this also a stat that kind of puts everything into context, because sometimes some teams have more sacks, but if you look at the context and the details, there's a fine line on maybe why, in case like quarterbacks not recognizing pressure, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But okay, fellas, let us get started. I'll start us off with some honorable mentions, which is going to spark it hot immediately, because I'm going to leave a team off that you think that I'm idiotic for leaving off. But I have it. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, I have a decent point on it.
We're going to clip this right away.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure. Let me.
The New England Patriots.
I beat spammers with my call block win rate. That's good. That's a good, nice little liner right there. Brandon with the lines. Appreciate it, dude. Thank you for being here.
Where did you get this stuff at? That's what I want to know.
Oh man, he might just be a brilliant mind. I know you put this up there, but I just want to give him a shout out. Thank you for being here, brother. Thank you for being here. Okay, so honorable mentions, and then I'll get into my top 7. Honorable mentions for my best offensive line unit. I'll say 3 honorable mentions. Minnesota is one of them. I think Minnesota can easily be a top 7 unit next year. It's just Will Fries looked good at the beginning of last year, then had a season-ending injury, and he didn't look that great before that. So don't really know. I love the Ryan Kelly one though, because he has played very, very well as the center, so that's going to be fine. It's just the Will Fries. We'll see. And the tackles, Darius Shaw coming back. O'Neill's played fantastic through the years. They could, of course, be a top 7 unit. Atlanta Falcons. If Atlanta Falcons are in any of y'all's list, I am not upset. I get it. There's not a big argument for me leaving them off. It's just I picked these 7 instead of Atlanta. And the hot take that I don't think is going to be a top 7 offensive line unit, the Detroit Lions. I do not. Yep, I said it. I do not. I got something for you too later, but I do not think they will be a top 7 offensive line unit. If you're big into left tackle, right tackle, sure, they have one of the best left tackle, right tackles in the game. But if we talk about left guard, right guard, center, now we'll have an argument, and I have that argument later on. All right, now let us get into my top 7 offensive line units for the 2025-2026 season. This is also probably going to ruffle some feathers. At number 7, I have the Baltimore Ravens. At number 6, I have the Washington Commanders. At number 5, I have the Los Angeles Chargers. At number 4, I got the Philadelphia Eagles. At number 3, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 2, Buffalo Bills. And the number 1 offensive line units, and this goes from last year as well, the Denver Broncos. Mic drop. not exit 8.
Okay, repeat your list for me one more time so I can write this down.
Yeah. Please. And then again, like we'll go to each of y'all's list, and then we'll talk about our list and the rebuttals section. Number 7, Baltimore. I'll just say from 7: Baltimore, Washington, Chargers, Philly, Tampa Bay, Buffalo, Denver. In that order. All right. Well, before we get into rebuttals, I want to hear everybody else's lists. And please, I hope if y'all aren't writing it down, that's fine. But me and Jose are definitely going to write it down. So, seniority. Joe, go ahead, brother.
Alrighty, this is the Sports Mailman's top 7 offensive line units going in the 2025-26 season. At number 7, I have the Los Angeles Chargers. At number 6, I have the Detroit Lions. At number 5, I have the Buffalo Bills. At number 4, I have the Baltimore Ravens. Number 3, I have the Denver Broncos. Number 2, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And at number 1, I have the Philadelphia Eagles.
Safe list. Jalen, whenever you're ready, brother.
All right, let's get to it. Number 7.
I need an intro. Come on. Come on. You know this. Go ahead. Sorry.
My top 7 offensive O-line groups going this next season. Number 7, give me the Minnesota Vikings. Number 6, give me the Detroit Lions. Number 5, give me the Baltimore Ravens. Number 4, give me the Buffalo Bills. Number 3, give me the Denver Broncos. 2, give me Tampa. And number 1, fly Eagles fly, give me Philly.
Okay. All right. Y'all are safe. Jose, do me the honors, brother.
I like how it's safe. All right. I guess I could just wing this one. All right. This is the Puro Producer's top 7 offensive line units. Number 7, I got the Chargers. At number 6, give me the Bears.
Ooh.
Number 5, give me the Bills. Number 4, give me the Lions. Number 3, give me the Bucks. Number 2, the Ravens. And number 1, the reigning, defending, undisputed Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles.
All right. No. All right. No. There's a little bias here. There's a little bias somewhere. I'm smelling bias somewhere. I don't know where. Okay. Let us get into some rebuttals. Of course, I want to rebuttal every single one of you. If you want me to start, I will. If y'all have something for me, if y'all want to start, go for it. I'm ready for whatever. I got.
Yeah. So how did the champions who didn't really lose anything in that offensive line go from 1 ranked overall for everybody? Really, and really, it's consensus number 1. How are you only 5 for you?
So hold on, let me get my list back. Number 4
is the right guard like that much?
Yes. So 1, they did lose somebody, and I don't trust Steen. He lost his job anyway. So I'm not saying they're going to. That's got a top 4. So first off, let's take a chill pill real quick. I get the easy answer is Philly because everybody in the media is like, oh, that's the reason why they're so good and all of this. As far as like pass block win rate, they're number 6. Run block win rate, they're number 9. Again, I'm actually a fan of how the offense played, even when, especially as the season progressed and going into the playoffs. Jalen, I'm pretty sure you watched. Your offensive line didn't play that well as the season progressed. You played well enough, but it wasn't playing at a top 1, top 2, top 3. But yes, mainly them losing. What is it, Makari? I can't say this. Makari?
Oh, Mekhi Becton?
Mekhi Becton. Yes, sorry. Right? Mekhi Becton?
Yeah, I was like, who's Makari?
And then, sorry, I'm thinking Patrick Makari. Sorry.
Like, what?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, totally different. Sorry. But having Tyler Steen, yeah, not a fan. Don't know how that's going to play out. Yes, you have the best right tackle in freaking football. Sure, that's great. But like you said, Jalen, there's a team that none of us said have the best, arguably the top 2, top 3 best left tackle in football. Who cares? That doesn't mean anything for me. But yes, I think they're going to be a top 4. They could be a top 3 offensive line unit. I don't think they'll be the best. They didn't show last year that they were the best. The year before that, they played better than last year. So I just, that's my reasoning. Now, I have something for all 3 of you. No, I got something for you, Jose. You two are safe right now. Jose, you have no Denver. Tell me.
Yeah.
Go ahead, please. Enlighten me.
I mean, how much have they really changed? I mean, they've changed, quite a bit, right? But it's like it's not enough to convince me. Like I get it. Some people have them super high and stuff like that, but I don't know. Maybe I just want to see another fresh year. Like this team has been riddled with like bad, for the most part, right, since the Super Bowl run, and there's just so many other good teams right now. Like the ones they're honestly, like if you want, like I did my 10, right, just in case we were doing 10. They were 8. To be fair, They were 8, so they're not far out.
Same thing with Detroit, fellas. They're number 8, so don't think I had them number 10 or something. I get it, but we'll talk about Detroit.
If going by like also how we feel, like me and you, we've talked about PFF and rankings before. They didn't necessarily have them that high last year. They had them in the middle of the pack. So until I see Broncos,
okay.
So until I see something like where they go extraordinary and different, because that I'm not really going to trust Denver and Bo Nix off of just 1 year. I want to see it. I want to see one more year.
Right. Okay. So you want to see one more year is the fair pushback you have, but let me try to convince you. Last year, It's not off of 1 year. Last year, number 1 in pass block win rate, number 1 in run block win rate. They brought everybody back. All 5 offensive linemen are coming back. Bowles and McGlinchey are showing that they're a top tackle group. And it talks about Quinn Meyer. Is it Miners? I can't say his last name really well. But Quinn is showing to be one of the best guards in the league. So I don't think that play stops or stagnates or anything of the sort. Yeah, I just think
what's their schedule this year? Is it third or second place schedule? Third, right?
Third.
And what was last year?
Schedule's not bad. Yeah. Well, third, I think.
Third, maybe. Okay, so I mean, either way, like I just wasn't, because remember, you gotta also think too. Like last year, I had no expectations for Denver.
Right.
So yeah, they superseded that, but that is not enough for me to say this offensive unit is enough, right? Like I want, like what I'm comparing it to, like respectfully, like is also like high caliber playoff offensive lines. Now I know we criticize that the whole run for the playoffs for the Eagles wasn't the greatest, right? That's what you have mentioned right now to Jalen. But to be fair, for weeks 1 through at least 19 before that Super Bowl run, it was a lot. It was one of the top 2s the whole way through, either 1 or 2. So I mean, I don't know, man. I just want to see it. I want to see Broncos do it one more time. If they can convince me otherwise, then yeah, they'll be top 7 next year, no problem.
Okay. Also, as far as pressured per drop back, they were number 2. Just sacks allowed, they were number 4. So
I get that.
I get what you're saying. You got to see it again, but I think Denver is a shoe-in. Other than that, y'all are Philly, Tampa Bay, 1 and 2. I'm not mad. That's okay. Baltimore, Buffalo, Detroit. Okay. Jalen.
Yes.
Minnesota.
Hey,
that's how they talk. Nice. Very good. Very good. What? Why? Do you already believe in, because of the additions and the tackles coming back? Go ahead.
That, and not gonna lie, I would have put the Bears up there.
Yeah, likewise.
It was a coin flip between them and the Bears. My thing is, again, to my point that I mentioned earlier, is I feel like the Bears have a little bit too new of a unit together, in some sort of sense, where the Vikings they still have new people coming in, but it's not as many as the Bears. Like they have a whole new junction coming in right now.
They have 3 new starters, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And so from that point alone, I was like, between the coin flip between the two, I was like, I'm gonna go with Minnesota because I know majority of what they can do as a unit. Because we're talking about the unit. I've seen more what they can do as a unit. Where the Bears, it's a whole new offensive line. So that's why I put Minnesota in my top 7. And I don't see anybody else even close. Again, we can talk about again the best one of the best linemen, or the best lineman in Trent Williams.
Mhm.
But all his other counterparts, they're not the best.
No, I agree. I agree with that.
So that's why when it comes to that, that's why I chose Minnesota, because it's like, to me, this is where that gap talks. I feel like there is a top 7, top 8 offensive line, and then there's a huge gap for like units. There's like a huge gap after that.
Okay, why don't y'all? Why neither three of y'all and I just whoever can make the best point? I'm not here. This one I'm not going to die on because it's somewhat new, but they played well last year. Washington Commanders. Their offensive line played better than expectations last year. I know that doesn't mean much. I got it.
I'm going for Cody here, and Laramie Tunsil's gonna really bring back. Like, he's great left tackle, right?
Right.
But those pre-snap penalties are a headache to watch, and Jalen will give you that notion. Like, if you're with Jalen, you're with him, and if you don't agree, then you obviously don't agree. But the NFC is already tough enough alone without you set yourself back with those pre-snap penalties. So when you're Washington and now you got a second place schedule because you are coming off your best run in a long time, you trade for a solid left tackle, but if he sets you back every other play, 5 yards, 10 yards, whatever it is, holding, pre-snap penalties,
right?
That's my biggest fear. Like, I have them at 9, but but Laramie Tunsil has a way to make things go backwards sometimes, and that's not the way that in the NFC you need to go.
Okay. All right, that's fair. I am not mad at that. Let me also ask. Well, let me not. Y'all got any more pushback for me before I keep asking y'all stuff?
You put the Chargers in there, correct?
Yeah, they're number 5. Correct.
Okay.
I had the Chargers at 7.
When we started talking 5, that's what we're getting at elite.
Right.
So now, without saying Joe Alt.
Without saying Joe Alt?
Yeah.
Slater. Yeah, I was gonna say Slater. The left tackle is also fantastic. Also, hold on, I got a note right here. Let me get that.
They got Mekhi Becton.
Yes, they got Mekhi Becton. Bozeman played well. Zion Johnson played well. Getting Mekhi Becton honestly added. Their center's okay, and also they got.
No, but I'm just saying, like, their center is the biggest hole. If you say like the weakness on their line, and if he ends up playing better next year, they can move up immensely next season.
I think what pushed them to put them over the Broncos and Commanders was the Mekhi Becton addition. Like, Mekhi and the 2 tackles, Joel and Slater's, was huge. It's like, that's going to be something that'll be good for the run game, especially since they have that dual threat with Najee Harris and what's his name?
Hampton.
Oh, Myron Hampton.
Yeah, there you go. Now, obviously, I'm not a believer in Justin Herbert, so I mean, somewhere he's going to get hit, but
Yeah. Also, like, everybody loved Joe Alt, and I told Joe, like, yes, on the pass block win rate, he was number 4. Like, he was a great pass blocking tackle. And with the run, he needs work, right?
Oh, yeah.
But that's okay because Slater on the other side ranked top 10 in run block win rate. So he's just going to feed off of that. It was his first year anyway, so it's going to. I think the offensive line as a whole, with adding Mekhi Becton, which did y'all wonders as well. Yeah, I think it's going to make him a top 5 offensive line. Even especially the way Jim Harbaugh runs an offense. I think so, dude. And last year they played well together anyway. So, yeah, I think they'll be a top 5. Now they are 5, so I'm not thinking they're a top unit yet. But I do think they will have a top 5-esque style.
What? I guess for me, like with you, Milton, I guess my question would be like, why do you believe in the Bills so high that you put them at 2?
Well, let's talk about sacks. Last 2 years, they led the league in least sacks allowed. So, that's one of the big reasons why. And yes, Josh Allen, same thing with Lamar. Like, the only reason why I had Baltimore so low is because if you look at the context, Lamar is the reason why they kind of get bailed out a lot of the times. Josh Allen can be the same-ish, but it's to a lesser extent. But having 2 seasons of leading the league in least sacks allowed, yeah, dude. Their continuity is still there. Everybody's coming back. Their weakest link is their right guard. That's the only weak link on that team, offensive line, and he's young, so hopefully he gets better. Taurus.
And where did you have the Ravens at? Did you have them in your top 7?
Yeah, 7. That's why I said they are low, and I'm fair enough.
So when you're talking about that, like how Lamar is able to kind of stop a lot of the bleeding, so to say, if somebody gets beat and he's able to get out, wouldn't you say the same thing about Josh Allen?
Yeah, that's why I said they are the same in that aspect, but Lamar to a more extent. As far as pressures allowed and all that, Baltimore has more pressures allowed than Buffalo on a down-to-down basis. Buffalo, the last 2 years, have just been constantly evolving and getting better in the pass blocking, where Baltimore, again, the tackles are good. Linderbaum is fantastic. The guards are an issue, but Lamar defeats all that. And they're a clear issue. It's not like I'm just saying they're an issue. Just if you go, I think PFF, I don't know. But run block win rate, pass block win rate, the tackles are fine. The center's fine. The guards are the issue. When it comes to Buffalo, the only issue they have is the right guard, but he's young. So I have a little, and they added a piece in free agency that if that doesn't work out, they could just replace him with him. That's why I got Buffalo so high. Baltimore, don't get me wrong. They could definitely have a top 5. You could switch them and the Chargers maybe. Like what I'm not saying that, but by looking at different metrics, Lamar is really the one bailing them out. And Philly, honestly, a lot of this, you ain't gonna like this, Jalen, but you probably understand. Your offensive line played very, very well. Jalen Hurts is getting better, but he still is yet to really be able to dissect blitzes against them sometimes. He doesn't. Okay, yeah. Well, he is top 5, so yeah. Wait. The offensive line is top 5. But yeah. So, okay. All right. Well,
there's the number 1. No.
Well, y'all got any I'm surprised that y'all haven't really pushed so much back on the Detroit. Because honestly, other than Jose, both of you, I'm too far away. Like 2 away. Like y'all have him 6, I have him 8th. It's not a big. I could get why if you're upset at it. Like, I mean, come on.
No, like, don't get me wrong. Like, here's the thing. Like, I understand all of y'all dropping the Lions because in the last 2-3 years, like, it's been them and Philly, in my opinion, is 1 and 2.
Right.
But I understand, like, Frank Ragnow retired. The right guard.
Right guard, Sealer.
Yeah, Zayler left. So it's like, I understand. But the reason I don't knock him so far low is because of who Dan Campbell is. Like, literally, this team was built with him coming in, and the reason why Jared Goff has been so protected and why he's had high numbers the last couple of years and why he's looked so good and fool people into believing he's a top 5 quarterback is because of this offensive line. Mm-hmm. So I get that there's changes that were made. Frank knows a huge loss, but I still believe Dan Campbell will get this unit to still be at least a top 4, top 5 unit.
I don't. Only because I don't believe in Dan Campbell. I don't think Dan Campbell. The reason why their offensive line is so good, one, Ben Johnson had a lot to do with it, but mainly the GM. I don't think Dan Campbell has. It's the GM.
Well, Ben Johnson and I'm surprised none of you pushed back. Ben Johnson is the reason why I have the Bears as top.
Yeah, that's 6. Why I'm not. I didn't have enough cojones to pull the trigger on that because they could. I mean, Joe Thuney is one of the best pass blocking guards, tackles, whatever the heck he wants to be. And the center they brought over, Dalman, he's the only reason why I took Atlanta out of the top 7. Because Dalman was a key piece for them. So I mean,
Atlanta's not even in my top 10. Atlanta's not even in my top 10.
They're surprised. They still have the continuity with the tackles. But
with me, I'm like Penei Sewell, probably one of the best O linemen in all of football. Taylor Decker, probably a top 6 left tackle, and then you have Glasgow as well as one of the top guards possibly in this league. So 3 out of the 5 positions are top tier to elite, and you're just worried about your center who's been there for a couple years already, and then the left guard. Okay, he left, so that's the only thing with me is that the center's been there for a couple years. He's been in the system. The left guard, that's going to be the big thing for me. Why, like the Lions, I feel like they're going to take a step back. Of course, that's why we don't have them at number 1 or number 2 possibly in years past because they did lose some guys there. But now you're going to see Penei Sewell and Taylor Decker probably going to take a more of a leadership role next season to me.
Well, I I disagree with the Glasgow. I don't think Glasgow last year he had a very not a good year, and he's constantly doing this. So I don't agree with the Glasgow. So I think their left guard, center, and right guard, their interior is going to be compromised. Not compromised, not like the Patriots last year, not that, but compromised to an extent. Like they are in the NFC North, and they're going to be dealing with some things with Minnesota, with Green Bay, with Chicago, up in the middle. In the interior, so the A gap, whatever. So, yeah, I the reason why I have them off, they can obviously, again, they're number 8, so they could be 7, 6. I just think that's going to be an issue. And Jared Goff under pressure, fellas, I know we could all agree. Jared Goff under pressure turns into a bottom 10 quarterback decision making. That's all, and I think that will start showing itself.
Well, the O-line, sadly, is part of the reason why I do have the Lions not winning the division most likely this year. So, I mean, but then again, you just never know. Like, it just depends. Does Minnesota keep up the same momentum? Do the Bears come out of nowhere? I don't believe in Green Bay, so we'll see.
I'll see. The positive with Detroit, where I can be wrong, is, they lost all of the coordinators. They lost more than just the coordinators. They lost other key pieces to that team. But the offensive line coach stayed. So that can prove y'all's point, possibly. Any more pushback for any of the guys? Joe and Jalen, y'all's list is basically the freaking same. So y'all have no beef at all in this. Jose, I'm very surprised and so happy that you guys see that Tampa Bay's offensive line has just gotten better and better and better.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, Tristan Wirfs, man, probably a top 3 left tackle in all of football. They've been building that line the past couple of years. Graham Barden, they drafted last year in the first round. They drafted their right tackle, I think, last year as well. So they've been drafting the past couple of seasons to make this offensive line very key and help out Baker with his resurgence these past couple of seasons. And you can see that because he has more time to sling it.
Okay. If y'all had to, off the cuff, likewise, because I didn't write this down, who would you say would have a bottom 4 offensive line?
The Saints.
Cincinnati.
Saints. Okay,
Saints
hold on. Jalen, Saints. I think we all could all agree there. They have a great center, and what is it, Fuanga? He's a good tackle, but everybody else, no. So fair. Okay. You said Cincinnati. Cincinnati's always middle of the pack. They're not worse. They're not.
Okay, no, my bad. The Dolphins. The Dolphins, my bad.
Possibly. Armstead's gone. They got 2 pieces on free agency, though. That'll help. But probably
Hunt was
right.
already gone last year, right?
Who?
Yeah, Robert Hunt.
Carolina's offensive line is actually looking pretty okay. They're getting better and better and better. So shout out to Carolina. Okay.
I got a different one.
Good.
I'm sorry, Cody. It's your Texans.
Man, that's maybe right.
What do they got? Name me a guy you believe in that team on that O line.
Yeah.
If they weren't in that division,
Cam Robinson. Shout out. I'm just kidding. That's a joke.
Oh,
that's a joke. It's a joke.
I'm like, he's the backup on most teams.
He played well with Minnesota.
He did.
But yeah, I agree. Though he's not a.
I just hope that they don't just bank just because they are so much better in that division. It doesn't end up biting them in the butt, and then something happens to CJ because of it. Because you saw in the years past, like with other teams, that they don't get their quarterback at least an adequate line, and then the quarterback gets hurt. Like, just because you are the leader of this division does not mean take the gas off the brakes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's actually quite funny AFC South-wise because the Texans and Colts, you would say, okay, they might be like last year, most people predicted them two to be the contenders, right? And both of their offensive line got worse. Don't get me wrong, the Colts at least still have 2 great tackles and a great left guard. What is Quentin Nelson, a left guard or right guard? I don't know.
He's right.
Okay, right guard and Quentin Nelson. Falling off a little bit, but still better than pedestrian. And now you see Jacksonville.
Left. I'm sorry. Left.
Left? Okay, cool. And you see Jacksonville, not saying Jacksonville's going to be good, but their offensive line is starting to get better and better. So I think AFC South is kind of funny, and it's going to be interesting to watch. Because, yeah, the 2 top teams sure, their defenses got better, but their offensive lines got worse. So that's going to be interesting to see. Okay. Anything more on offensive line units before we get into our protector of the year?
So I'm gonna ask y'all this on the fly. What offensive line do you think maybe is like around the middle of the pack, in your opinion, could possibly take a leap this upcoming season? Kind of like what Denver did last season.
For me, it really does depend on obviously how how quick the progression can be here. But I really like Josh Simmons for the Chiefs. Their new left tackle. I really like him because if he's healthy, oh man,
right. He just had an injury thing, right?
Yeah, we fucked up. Everyone fucked up. I'm just gonna tell you right now. If he's healthy, I mean they lost Joe Tooney though, so that's kind of the reason why they're gonna really fall back, and they haven't gotten rid of Jawan Taylor. But if somehow, some way, man, they can easily come back into being a threat. But obviously, I do like the Carolina Panthers. They've been rebuilding for years. So just now, let's see what Bryce Young really does with that. He's still a small quarterback, so we got a lot of questions still. But yeah, those would be my man. And I think some teams, and to go add it on to Joe, I think there's some teams that people are overrating. I think the Browns are overrated right now as far as the offensive tackle. There's some people got in the middle of the pack, but I got them towards the bottom.
Now they're getting older and they keep getting hurt. They're not playing together. Conklin's the best guy that's consistent. Everybody else keeps getting hurt, and they're getting older, so that's not going to help. So I agree. I agree. Last year I overhyped the heck out of him.
And then you got Deontay Johnson on that team, and he doesn't want to play anywhere with 41 degrees or lower. 41 degrees.
Gosh, dude.
Yeah.
Y'all got any other ones? Go ahead.
And then just one thing I'm going to ask y'all, just as a whole, we did have the NBA Finals just finished up a couple days ago, and unfortunately, Jose was talking about this on his show. Tyrese Halliburton plays hurt and ends up, tearing his Achilles now in the process. As an NFL guy, like if you were in that position in the Super Bowl, you're playing hurt, would you have played or would you have said, you know what, like I'm going to sit out because what if I get hurt?
It depends where I'm at in my career. If
I'm
going
to say, like, say you're an up and coming guy and you have a contract looming.
I'm sitting out. Gotta protect myself.
Right.
NFL's a lot tougher because the average guy doesn't like. I think the average is like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
like for the most starters, like and stuff like that. So it's like for me, and I mentioned this, yesterday. If I was Todd Gurley in that Super Bowl against the Patriots, and I don't know if I'm ever going to get back here, then I might as well do it. I think at the time he already got paid, right? So I don't think like that's like the money was an issue for him. But like at the same time, like you don't, and he didn't know at this time when he got hurt during that postseason that he was having arthritis issues on his knee. But if I was him, either way, like I would have played in that situation because I think had he played, I don't know if our Patriots would have won, Milton.
Yeah, for sure. And we always have a problem stopping the freaking run. But to Jalen's point, and also Jose's, the pay structure, the guarantees are so much different than NBA and NFL. So NFL, to Jalen's point, like, if you're on this kind of contract, you didn't get paid yet, contract's looming, like you said, I'm probably not going to get paid, especially I'm a running back. Or let's say that. Nope, they're really not going to get paid, right? So I think NBA, the guarantees are, just it's more of a player friendly, I guess you could say. So that's a tough question, dude. To answer your initial question, Joe, a team that could surprise folks, you're going to love this. And both of you guys are going to hate it. The Dallas Cowboys offensive line.
Thank you. I didn't want to bring it up. Tyler Smith,
I didn't want to bring it up. No,
top 10 guard probably in the league.
Oh, they lose Zach Martin and get better? I don't understand that.
No, so as a whole, maybe. Zach Martin, that's why I said it's a hot topic, dude. I'm not putting my money on it, but Tyler Smith played well. Tyler Booker will see. Cooper Beebe played well. Guyton didn't. Terrence Steele played well as a run block win rate. He played well. They just gotta run the ball more successfully, and I think everything will go by smoother.
Yeah, that was
All right.
the purpose of that Tyler Booker pick. You know, they want to be smash mouth next season, but we'll see what happens with that running back core that they got. Hopefully, they can run a little bit better than they did last season.
Right. You have to have a better running back core because run block win rate as a team, they were number 5. You know what I mean? So your running back sucked. So you couldn't run the ball. They were doing their job. Y'all just kind of sucked. So, all right, let's move on. Sorry. I gave you too much attention there. Okay. Well, let's do our protector of the year prediction. Now, I'm going to give 3 honorable mentions. They're not the winner. So, yeah, they're not the winner. Joe Alt could definitely win it. Deion Dawkins, I think, is a surprise hitter that could
Underrated.
possibly win it. Yeah,
Really underrated.
And also Tristan Wirfs. If anybody has him on your list, I'm not going to argue, and I don't really have a debate. I kind of have a little debate, but we'll see. The 2025-2026 first ever Protector of the Year award will go to Philadelphia's own Lane Johnson.
Yep.
What, you're making a face like Lane Johnson had 0 sacks allowed last year, and pass block win rate was just out of this world. All right, fellas, go ahead. Seniority. What were you saying, Jose, before we move?
I was going to say that. I mean, I'll counteract it. I mean, Tristan Wirfs, my second guy here, but first place, the opposite of what you're saying, it is an Eagle player, but his name is Jordan Mailata.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Best left tackle in the game right now.
Nah, I don't.
Yeah.
think so.
I don't know about
blocking,
that.
he's not. Run blocking, sure, but pass blocking, no.
I'll be the best at making commercials. Yeah.
Y'all just like he could sing, huh? He wowed you guys. That's what he did. Voice connects. All right. Okay. Joe and then Jalen, please.
Yeah. So my 3 honorable mentions for the Protector of the Year is going to be Tristan Wirfs, Lane Johnson, and all reliable in San Francisco, Trent Williams. And my winner for the Protector of the Year, Penny Sewell.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Catching a ball doesn't make you a Protector of the Year. Go ahead. Sorry.
Because my honorable mention, Penny Sewell is in my honorable mention.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Mailata is in my honorable mention, and Tristan Wirfs is in my honorable mention. And with a beautiful comeback story, Trent Williams will win Protector of the Year.
All right. Got paid. All right. We all have different answers. Now let's start elaborating on it. So the only one I have an issue with, and it could happen because he's young. Jose, please explain. Like, I get it. He's a young talent. He's up and coming. He's getting better, but he hasn't shown anything that when you say best left tackle, you're absolutely out of your mind. You are 100% incorrect.
Hey,
Go ahead.
Hey. If we want to talk PFF.
I know PFF has the
That was
authority.
built-in saving grace right there.
He's
Back
number
then.
one on PFF. Just saying.
Also, you want to know who's the number 1 cornerback on PFF? Do y'all want to use that?
Jair Alexander?
Nope. The guy you hate. And we're gonna talk about it, Jalen. Jesus Christ, you're hate. Whatever, dude. Your hate for him is kind of crazy. But PFF again. If you use PFF as your authority, we have to stay consistent. And I don't think y'all are gonna be consistent with. That's why I stopped. I said, all right, I don't know what the heck y'all are watching. So I'm gonna use it, but I have to use it in context with other sources, Pro Football Reference, ESPN. If you even want to go there, I wouldn't recommend it. But yeah, but other than PFF, Jose, please.
I mean, look, like the offensive structure, like you gotta respect Philly. Like I've said, like they've been one of the top 2 O lines all last couple of years, and I respect to Lane Johnson. I know he's your pick. But at the same time, too, like he's so much older right now, and he has been getting hurt more and more. Like it's tough to like trust him going forward to be the first ever Protector of the Year. So if we can't knock a 28-year-old, a 6-year vet now coming into the season who was rated as one of the top guys last year, not the top guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, it's not crazy to say like Jordan Mailata with this team, with how the game plan is used with Saquon, with the tush push and all this stuff like that. and how well protected the quarterbacks and the backfield is, like I'm gonna go with Jordan Mailata, like respectfully. Like I'm gonna go with the best tackle on the best offensive unit, in my opinion.
Okay. I'll say one, the reason why the tush push is successful is whoever I think what is it, left guard? I think it's your left guard. And he's a freaking left tackle. But again, it's a prediction award, so I can't push back too much. You didn't say nobody blasphemous or whatever, but yeah, I completely disagree though. I don't think he's the best tackle. I get your injury point. That's fair. As far as pass block win rate, run block win rate, the only guy that's consistently there is Lane Johnson. He is the guy on that team. So I'm leaning towards him. We both got a Philly guy. Jalen, thank you for not being biased. I thought you were going to agree with me, but it's okay. I'll be alone. Joe, explain.
So with me, man, Penei Sewell, year in, year out, since he's gotten drafted, all pros since he's gotten in. I think we started talking on, Facebook a couple years ago, and I remember we were covering the 2022 draft. And I remember whenever not only Cincinnati took Jamar Chase, which he's all worldly, don't get me wrong, and Jalen Waddle before Penei Sewell, I was like, dude, you need to get linemen on that line. And you could still see that to this day. Could you imagine how that team would be if Cincinnati had Penei Sewell on that right side or Miami on that right side? And to me, like I've been clamoring for other teams in the past, like Joe Alt and years and years and years, like get the tackle, get somebody, because these quarterbacks that are in that position are going to be able to make wide receivers more times than not. And Penei Sewell has probably added 5-6 more years on Jared Goff's career, possibly, and he just continues to show it year in year out for me.
Well, I'll give you this. He's on the field. He's played, I think, all games last at least 2 years. So I give you that. That helps. That helps the case. Now, Trent Williams, talent-wise, I agree with you, Jalen. I ain't got no pushback whatsoever. And he's kind of like a fan favorite, too. So, but explain how you got to Trent Williams.
Well, one, a lot of these awards that get handed out, the midst of a comeback story has to be kind of like involved with it as well. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, he has a story. It's not like a good one. Meaning like it's unfortunate what happened to him and his family. Yep. So that's there. 49ers had a shit year. So honestly, it's very easy because anything the 49ers do good is going to get compared to last year. And so the emphasis of Trent Williams playing and doing well is going to get blown up better than the Lane Johnson or Jordan Mailata. Because even if they play good, they can play really good. But if they're just a smidget worse than last year, that's what they're going to compare it to. It's all recency bias when it comes to these things, especially in the NFL. Right. So Trent Williams, his projection is nothing but here compared to last year. He can only go up. So that's why I think he's an easy favorite for this award. And again, you emphasize on paying Brock Purdy. Okay, that's their quarterback. And so, protecting him, getting that team back in playoff form and everything, I think Trent Williams is showing for this award.
I like it, actually. I do like it. I mean, other than last year because he got hurt, the last 3 or 4 years, correct me if I'm wrong, whoever, if you're going to correct me, he's been an all-pro. So it's just going to probably stay the same, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It's just sad to me, like this award wasn't around a couple years ago. Could you imagine the battles Lane Johnson and Trent Williams would have been having over this award? Like, it's just, I feel kind of upset that we get it maybe a couple years too late for them two as a whole, because they are a little older. Don't get me wrong, they could probably still win the award.
Look at Jason Kelce. That's what I was saying. Like with centers and guards, like we gotta show them respect too. Because yes, the tackles are great and they're obviously one of the key options. But with those centers, and the guards, that's really tough. Especially look at the last couple of years with the tush push being as significant as it was. Jason Kelce would have won that just alone with that.
Yeah. Once that started, he would have definitely won at least one of the years.
Because when I wrote down a list, I wrote a list of 7 down because I didn't know what the specifics were on this, like how you wanted to do it. So I actually had Creed Humphreys as my number 4 my fifth in the 7 out of the 7 like tackles and stuff. He was the only center I had in there.
Yeah, well, Creed Humphrey is one of the best centers in the game. So
The
enough.
best center, I think, right
yeah,
now.
probably the best. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
probably the best. Yeah.
Do you see Cam Jurgens as the second best center?
No, it's too soon. It's only second year starting.
Yeah,
No, it's too soon.
Yeah,
We need to see more. We saw, and Jaden could attest to this. There was moments where he had butterfingers early on last year, and so if they ever do move away from the ruling of the tush push and stuff like that, I would like to see how he does better. Obviously, he got better over time last year,
Right.
but I want to see more from him. It's only a second year starting, but obviously he was also Jason Kelsey's personal pick to replace him.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. Now, do y'all have any honorable mentions that you think that could be protector of the year? The hotter the take, the cooler the moment. You know?
I don't know how hot you want me to get.
Well, okay, not that.
I mean, in reasonable times, and especially him going down to a new team, but he's a champion, multi-time champion, Joe Thuney. I mean, he could do so much going over there for them. So, I mean, I think that could be one thing. Like, imagine if the Bears do somehow get to the 12, 13, wins and stuff like that. Like, you're gonna give a lot of credit to that O-line because of how different it was the last couple of years. Where they've been atrocious. I don't care what Alex says. To what they were to potentially are this year,
right? Even if it cuts what they have, like 68 sacks allowed last year. If they're in top 3, top 4 for fewest sacks allowed, that right there is going to make a nice case. Same thing, Jalen, how you mentioned Trent's going to probably get it. One, the competition is going to be lessened, and then also it's the story. Same thing. Joe Thuney could also have that story allotted with him, but left tackle typically, tackles typically probably going to get it, unless you have just an outrageous year as a guard or a center, which that's going to be unfortunate. Because imagine next 3-4 years, it's just tackle.
Right.
Yeah, I had 2 guys written down or on new teams. Who do you think is most poised to have a more of a bigger year in a new team? Joe Thuney or Laremy Tunsil?
Joe Thuney.
He's
proven. He's way proven. He has no issues.
That's a future Hall of Famer right there.
Yeah, he's playing better. They made him move to tackle and he still played great.
Decent.
I say good. Yeah. You're right. Let's meet in the middle. Good. Played good. Yeah. Tunsil, he's a great pass blocker. Nobody could take that away from him. He is a great pass blocker. But like Jose says, the penalties. It's gonna,
you can't make those mistakes in the NFC. You cannot make that mistake.
Yeah,
especially with potentially three dangerous teams in that division, right? And mind you, this Giants defense. Oh, you cannot be making that mistake. So
that's gonna be fun to watch. Oh, I can't wait. All right, fellas. Well, that's the offensive line. I knew it wasn't gonna be long. It's offensive line. Nobody cares about offensive line. I'm just kidding. But yeah, offensive line's done. Protector of the year is done. I'll say. I'm surprised that you got. I thought somebody was going to say Joe Alt. I had Tristan Wirfs. I thought one of y'all were going to say one of those two, but fair enough. Good.
I think with Joe Alt for me, because for most of the season last year, he was my offensive rookie of the year. But again, they had an easier schedule last year.
Yeah.
So now it's a second place schedule. Now they have more tape on him. So let's see. That it's another thing. Oh, and I'm looking at the Spurs draft pick right now. So
yeah,
but there we go. Oh, we're on sports and we got a little bit of time. Jalen, I want to hear you. You're our Rockets guy. How do you feel about KD going to the Rockets?
So I was happy the day of. Because I feel like the Rockets were getting behind the ball here, especially when it comes to Texas teams. I'm excited for KD. He gives us the offensive power that we need. I'm glad we're able to trade Jalen Green. I can't stand that kid. I'm not a fan of the paint nail players. So I'm glad he's off.
Oh, that's him.
Yeah, I'm glad he's
off.
No, don't confuse him with Jerry McCain. That's the
Hey, dude. I haven't. Yeah, keep going. Sorry.
Jalen Green older than Jeremy Kane. Jalen Green came
I don't know which one. I saw one guy and he was
But
explaining the colors.
Jeremy Kane. That's why I wanted to clarify for
Okay,
Milton.
good,
We were
good,
looking at
thanks. Thank you.
Anyways, we were able to get rid of Jalen Green and get off Dylan Brooks and only give up this year's 10th pick and a bunch of second-round picks for, again, still one of the best scorers in the league. So I'm not mad at it. I'm glad we kept Cam Whitmore, Tyron Eason, and Reed Shepard. I feel like all those kids have room to grow with our team. Still able to keep Steven Adams, extended him. Got Sangoon still as well. Jabari Smith Jr. Fred VanVleet just signed another deal today. Again, I think we're bright. And then we just extended Idoku as well to our coach. I think we're fine. Honestly, I think now, like, us being number 2 in the West did not fool me last year. I did not think much of it. I think we're a championship-bound team now. Like, we can compete for it. I'm not saying we're going to win it, but we have everything in place now to compete except a 2-guard.
I will say yesterday, Jalen, I think that they're a bigger threat to OKC Thunder for next year and to go in, like, because obviously Jalen Green didn't show up in the postseason, right? But like, if you need someone to get you over the hump, Kevin Durant is the right guy for it on that unit right now. So I think y'all can contend and be a top 4, top 3 team next year.
I was about to say, even just competing like this, I never really care about seeding in the NBA. It's just when it comes to the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, and I don't even, honestly, I ain't gonna lie, I don't think OKC is the mecca of what we need to be looking to compete with. I really don't think so. I think it's the Mavericks. I'm not sleeping on the Mavericks because once Kyrie comes back, that team is the best starting 5 in basketball. If they get in Dennis Schroeder, Chris Paul, or it was another point guard, if they get any one of those best to run the show until Kyrie comes back, you have Kyrie, Klay Thompson, Cooper Flagg, AD, Gafford Likely. Like, that is the best starting 5 in basketball. Like, you got everything you need, and you got PJ. I didn't even mention PJ Washington. You have no flaw on that team. There's nowhere there's a hiccup. So again, I'm thinking I was glad the Rockets signed KD to keep up with the Mavericks. OKC is, again, I'm not. Congratulations, OKC. I'm just leave it there.
OKC is an elite defense. It's the offense you have questions.
Is Dylan Brooks is he actually good on defense?
He's good on defense.
Yeah.
He's just a pest, man.
But
getting under your skin.
It doesn't matter if you run your mouth and get ejected, then there's no defense.
Okay, he does that. All right. Yeah, I just see clips. Again, casual talking. All right, go ahead. Carry on, fellas.
But yeah, no, KD to the Rockets. I'm just happy because after 4 years, I get to watch Rockets basketball again. I have not watched that shit in 4 years. It's been bad. I didn't even watch it this year when they were the number 2 seed. I wasn't falling for that. Like, right? I'm not falling for us getting a number 2 seed and Jalen Green is our offensive threat in the playoffs. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I wish Cody was here for this because he didn't want to get rid of Jalen Green for some reason. I was like, Cody, why?
Oh man, this would have been good.
The kid averaged 9 points in the playoffs. What do we need to keep him for? Because he's 22.
Because he gave you the false stats in the regular season, averaging 25. It's like, bro, he's not even efficient. Like his first couple of years, he had like a 10-game burst, and then that's it. Like it didn't make any sense. And then like this year, the reason I bring up 25 is because that's what Rockets fans all been telling me all year long. It's like he's averaging like 25. It's like we can't get rid of someone like him.
That's not right. He's been at the standpoint of the 19 through 21 for the past 3-4 years. He's been averaging 19 to 21 points. He hasn't done anything other than average 19 to 21 points. He doesn't do anything defensively, and he is so streaky. And again, showing that I don't know who in their right mind watched that last playoff run with Jalen Green. It's like, let's keep him. He got to have a 130-point game, and then the rest. There's a game he scored 8 points, and then 9 points, then 11 points. What do we talk? Why keep him? Because I'm watching other kids come in. I'm watching LaMelo Ball, right? Cade Cunningham, right? I'm watching Paolo. I'm watching everybody that's coming into this 4 or 5 year stint. Leaders of their team, getting them, taking them to new heights. And Edwards, right? We're watching all of these young kids come in. Jalen Green is still averaging 19 to 21. He needs to be in that 27 to 28 range in order to keep him, I think. But he's not.
He's just so inefficient. It's just he's not worth the time, to be honest with you. And okay, Cody, I'm glad that you found someone that you feel like is really good, like in your opinion. But bro, like for team winning and stuff like that, he's not it. Like
No.
he's not, and he's like one of the only successful G League players to come out.
G League Ignite.
No, it's not. Yeah, G League Unite, but I'm like, nah, man. He was never it for. So getting rid of him, like you said, Jalen, like to get rid of him and Dylan Brooks and get KD cheap, like yeah.
Totally KD, bro. Come on, KD's still averaging 25 at his age. Averaging. So we got a guaranteed bucket now. We want to keep that for possible development.
He doesn't even, and KD doesn't even have to be your one guy, right? You can still develop Amen and Sengun on the way. But even as a Spurs fan, I didn't want KD. I didn't think he developed well with our guys. So I think Houston's the right fit for him.
I love it.
I just wanted him here just so I can get his KD like player edition shoes like in Spurs colors or something like that. That was the only reason why to have a Durant jersey with the Spurs on it would have been crazy to me because growing up he was like one of my favorite players. But that's the one thing in my opinion though too. Like how is he gonna fit with Houston? Don't get me wrong, he's an automatic bucket, but this team's young. So how does he go about with Ime Udoka? Because all these other guys are young, didn't really challenge him. So now Kevin Durant, he's Kevin Durant, like how he says in one of his press conference. If Ime challenges him, because over the past couple of seasons, you could see him kind of being a little bit more defiant. So with this growing team for the future, how does that mesh well? Because the man, you want him to be that guy on the wing. You have Alp as your big man. So of course, how does that all fit? That's what I want to see.
Yeah, same. I mean, I'm finally excited for NBA season again. I haven't been excited in 4 years.
Oh yeah, like it's too like everybody is talking about it being parity, and because the way the money is set up now, like a lot of these big market teams cannot just go and spin and just be okay with it now because of that apron and stuff like that. The Celtics, the Nuggets, like some of these other big teams are having to unload contracts and kind of be middle of the pack teams once again. So they're trying to NBA the way with this new collective bargaining to make it more parity throughout the league.
Yeah. It's gonna be fun.
No,
all right, fellas. Nice little basketball there. A quick update. Next week, we start our way too early team series where record predictions start. Our like going over the schedule, best case scenario, worst case scenario, where we go in depth on each division. The division that we're going to start with, if you fellas are going to join me, and then I'll put it in the group chat for anybody else, is going to be the NFC South. We are going to start in the NFC South. Again, it's going to be the same thing last year, way too early series, record predictions. And yeah, going to go over
0-17. Just mark it down now.
Yeah, I don't think so. The funny thing is, I think the NFL has changed so much. I don't think there's even a possibility of another 0-17 team.
Yes, 1-16.
There's a possibility.
So? You think so?
I'm about to watch it happen.
With New Orleans?
Yes.
Yeah, think so.
What do they got?
So they're about to go 0-17.
What do they got? If you're gonna tell me just Alvin Kamara, I'm sorry.
Dang it, Jose. That's what I was gonna say.
Caesar Ruiz is about to be protected of the year.
Caesar Ruiz sucks,
is Chris Olave gonna have bubble wrap around his head?
All right, leave Olave alone. He didn't do anything.
And your savior, Derek Carr, screwed the franchise.
I mean, Tyler Shuck is asking for a fully guaranteed contract, like if he's a first round pick. Like
that's that's the funny part. And who knows? Maybe Hagner, whatever his name is. Yeah. What's the guy that was supposed to be good? Yeah, Spencer Rattler, huh? No, nope, no. Okay. When we go over it, I'm pretty sure you are going to do that. All right.
I'm going to make a video tomorrow of why I think the Saints are going to go 0-17.
Okay.
I'm going to be that bold with it.
Look, their best chance of winning a game is against Carolina, maybe.
No.
And I'm picking Carolina too, but I'm just saying their best chance is Carolina. I
think they're one of the teams that aren't favored at all in any of their games next season.
Well, they shouldn't be. So I agree with that part. Yes. 0-17, we'll make a funny wager on that because I don't think there's any team. Even the Saints are really bad. I agree. but I think they'll win a game. I'm not going to make
You
a case.
can't convince yourself, huh?
No, I'm not going to make a case. Well, it's just the NFL. That's why I mean. I don't mean like, all the teams
Milton,
are so
I love
good.
it. Last year you were so confident they're going to get 11 wins. And now this year we're debating whether they're going to get one.
Listen, I was wrong. I know, that's crazy. What a fall, huh? But they fell in the
from
last
grace.
year. They fell last year. So I would say after the first 2 games, everything was healthy. That's where I went wrong. I was like, I didn't look at the depth of their offensive line. Once one guy went out, I mean, yeah, that was it.
So
And everybody else started falling.
just they might change by next week, but right now they're only favored in one game.
Okay.
And in another game they have broken even.
Give me the 2. What is it? Who is it?
So the favored
Right
one
now?
is against the Jets.
Huh? Jalen? Huh?
No.
No,
Okay.
by,
All
by,
right.
by December 21st, Justin Fields will be all right. And the other one, sorry, Milton, it's us. It's the Patriots.
They're even with us?
They're even with the
Damn, that's crazy to me.
What?
Who's betting on that game to make it worth the Saints are like
That's
even?
crazy.
In the
That's
house.
absolutely. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm gonna put
pissed
money
off.
right now.
It's probably because it's in New Orleans, and then they just don't know how the Patriots will fully be on that one.
He'll be good.
Thank
I
you.
think so too, but I mean,
Let's all
It just-
pitch in like $100 each and bet it on.
That's the Drake May gets injured and we lose. That would suck. All right, sorry. All right, that's why we're doing too much right now. All right, that's what. Okay, but yeah, next week we start our way too early team series, and all of you fellas, I would love for y'all to join. Let me know if you can or can't make it. But yeah, NFC South is the start, and I'll go over the details in the group chat. But fellas, thank y'all for joining me. Of course. Appreciate the conversation, the dialogue. Offensive line, I knew there wouldn't be any crazy debate. But yeah, nonetheless, before I just exit all of this, guys, please let everybody know where they can find you, other than at, of course, the People's Debate, please.
Alrighty, this is the Sports Mailman. So on TikTok, follow me on the Sports Mailman. I cover a plethora of different sports besides football, basketball, baseball, you name it. I'll probably talk about it one way or another.
And you can find me on TikTok under at the People's Debate, where I go live and have different discussions throughout the week. I'm not gonna say every day because I do every day, but throughout the week.
not anymore. I miss when you went daily, bro. It entertained me while I was at work.
I'm trying.
Bro, it would make me forget that I'm like walking in the like 100-degree heat. I was like listening to some of these people and laughing.
I see you posting them 16-hour shifts, so I get it. I get it.
Yeah, shout out to you, Jalen. That's hey, that builds
think about
character,
what
I
he's
guess.
doing though.
Yes. What? Oh,
good.
okay. Maybe I'm reading what you're putting down. Also, to add to what Jose said and what Joe said, yeah, whenever you went live, I was in a customer's home. You can't really do that. Didn't care. Didn't listen to the customer at all. Listen to y'all. Shout out to the People's Debate on TikTok. I said, nah, I'm not missing this lady. Nah, stop asking me stuff, please. Go ahead.
Stop asking me stuff.
Hey, Milton supervisors or bosses that are watching this, please don't believe anything he actually said.
It's a joke. It's all a stick. Yeah.
He made sure he was the #1 employee for Stanley Steamer that day.
Yes, that's what I did. Thank you, Joe.
That's
Jose, again, thank you for joining us, brother. Where can they find you?
Guys, y'all can follow me at Puro Pinche Sports on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. We just got done with basketball stuff. You can also follow us on there for our MMA stuff coverage with Milton and Chad with 2 Ds. Follow us there, whenever we have those preview shows. Hey, bro, I just want to Chad, if you're watching, your new nickname is gonna be Double D. Okay, I'm just telling you right now. Not many people know that there's a Chad with 2 Ds, and he's one of the rare, one of a kind. So
Double D Chad.
yeah, so follow us, guys. There, I put up Picture Sports. Next week, we'll finally start getting ourselves into football. Next week, we're going to do our consensus 1 through 32 quarterback rankings. So that's usually our most controversial ones preseason. So we'll see how that goes.
Very good. Again, thank you, fellas. Thank you, everybody that was watching now. Thank you to everybody that will watch this back. Again, next week we will start our Way Too Early team series where we go in depth on our record predictions and best case, worst case, and dissect the entirety of the team and the division. Thank you all, and we will be back next week. That's it.